Good evening, good evening. What it do, baby boo. Now I'm just playing. But good evening, y'all, and welcome to another dope episode of the Phat Girl Chronicles, where we get all up in your business and discuss the topics that matter to us most. Each and every Tuesday, right here on Facebook and YouTube and all of our connecting platforms. We want to thank you all for tapping in with us on tonight during this Mental Health Awareness Month. If you did not know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we are doing our big one as we normally do each and every month. We tap each and every year, not every month, each and every year we tap into Mental Health Awareness Month because it is a necessary part of um, our being, our day to day, who we are and who we are becoming. But also, it's one of the things that we don't talk about a whole lot in a lot of different ways and how it actually affects how we operate and who we are overall. So, tonight's conversation is talking about locked up and locked out, the cost of incarceration on Black families. We want to welcome y'all. I'm your girl, Leo Rochelle, and we got the squad in the building. We got none other than Pablo Escobar up in here with us tonight. And then Miss Fine Thing herself, Gina Marie, Miss Unapologetic up in here with us. Give me them glasses, girl.
Here you go. Here you go.
Listen, them cute. Them is cute. How y'all doing? Y'all all right today?
Yes, how you doing?
I'm good.
What's up? Give me
I'm
them glasses.
good. I got some work done. Got a little energy. I slept in today. Day 2 of sleeping in. Because I refuse to let my body not get the rest it needs. Because I'm trying to be out here on some BHHS type of shit this summer. So, if y'all don't know what that means, I suggest you look it up. But yeah, that's the goal for the summer. I've already been talking, trying to get this roster in alignment for the summer.
Nasty.
I mean, before we go back on lockdown, a girl needs some fun, okay?
Not the Hunter virus.
Listen, Hannah ass trying to come up in here. So before we go back on lockdown, I'm finna go ahead and
Do the damn thing.
have a little fun for the summer.
Yeah, the false reports are already coming out. They're talking about 2 people in Maryland got it. I'm like, bro, ain't nobody here was on that boat. Like, what are we talking about here, bro? Like, relax. So,
where they was flying from, and 2, that was the other part. But I ain't trying to set my nervous system on alert right now. But tonight we're gonna get into a quite a bit of conversation in regards to incarceration and what that looks like, and how it affects the Black family. One of the things that I feel like we don't talk about enough across the board is that factor within itself. Is once someone is incarcerated or crimes are committed, all of those kind of things, or crimes not being committed and somebody is still locked up. We don't talk about what incarceration does to the family, how it tears us apart, all the different things. Whether it's a loved one, a family member, a loved one, someone whether it's a partner, because sometimes people's partners end up in jail, and all of those kind of things. So I really wanted to kind of do a deep dive, one, because there's a lot of I recently took on a project to dive into some advocacy work in order to help someone that I've known for quite some time that has been incarcerated for 18 years for a crime that he did not commit. And I've known this man for a while, but recognizing some of the mental health aspects of it over the last couple of months has really been like eye opening, and it really set the tone for one, this conversation, but also how I have to prepare myself for the advocacy work and the things that's coming ahead down the line. So um we definitely have to talk about why these kind of conversations matter, not just from the perspective of Black women and Black men, but Black families, Black children, all of that kind of stuff. So we have to make sure that this conversation that we're having is understood why it's important. Because other people will just try to write it off like, oh, okay, well, whatever. No, we can't do no, yeah, okay, well, whatever.
It's true. That's so
You
Mhm.
true.
know, we actively have to be on point with the conversations that we're having. So, but also it's very normalized in our community too that, people being incarcerated, going, being locked up and all of that kind of stuff. And then we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into the conversation. But what's y'all thoughts on it so far? I mean, about how it affects the Black family and all of those kind of things.
Well,
Um, I'm one of those families. Got a few family members locked up right now. A couple of uncles, cousins that passed away in there as well.
Mm,
Um, you get numb after a while. Like you don't. It's just like, oh, that's where they are. It's like almost like, oh, they live in Idaho now. Like that's where they are.
not
You
they
know what I
live
mean?
there,
Yeah,
but I know what you're
it's
saying.
just
Yeah.
it's just a thing now. Like yeah, it's I don't know how to explain it too much. It's just like, oh yeah, he's such is locked up. I'm like, oh,
Mm,
you know.
yeah.
So it's to the point now. Like I'll tell people, like, yeah, I can jail. You know what I mean? Like jail is nothing. Like that. There's no fear for that. Like, hey, put me in
Right.
jail for 3 months, whatever. I miss a summer. That's fine. Just don't send me to prison. You know what I mean?
Not
Like,
I'll miss the summer.
yeah, I'm don't I can't do prison. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, nah, I'm good.
yeah, yeah,
Unless there's a cute guard in there that's gonna take care of me. You know. Other than that, I ain't
Nigga.
yeah.
yeah.
I'm too old and brittle. I ain't fighting nobody. I ain't doing none of that, man. Let me sit in my corner.
For real.
Yeah. And I get it because I am also, I have family. Like my dad, most of my life, well, all of my life, my dad was locked up. He didn't come out of prison until I was grown. And then, my son, he was locked up. So, it's difficult just dealing with the whole situation, growing up and you want your dad and you have to visit your dad in prison. And then a lot of times, family members don't even want you to come to see them.
Yeah,
They don't want you to see them behind bars at all. So, just not having that interaction at all with your family is really difficult. And, a lot of times when they go to prison, they change, and it's not always for the better. They learn how to survive in there. And when they learn how to survive, it can make them, it can break them.
Mhm.
And when it breaks them, that survival mode kicks in and it makes them, a lot of times, as my dad said, a lot of times teaches them how to be a worse criminal.
Mm.
And because, you're surviving because a lot of black men and a lot of people who are poor, I'm not even say black men, a lot of families who are poor who couldn't send money So you're in a robbing to try to survive. So you're learning how to become a worse criminal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so it just changes people. I mean, some people, go in there and be like, I'm never going back. And then some people, they go in there and it's like, I'm gonna get out and I'm never going back. But then they get out and then be like, I'm better off in prison because I get 3 straight meals
Yeah.
and saying I have a place to lay my head and I never have to worry. I have a job because when you get out, it's always that situation of, well, you have this pass. So I
Mm-hmm.
can't get a job. But in here, I may not be making any money, but I'm able to get a job because I'm working for a prison, but I have somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So it
Mm-hmm.
it, it cripples them to a serious point. And that is things that people never talk about. That is situations that people don't look at. They'd be like, well, you out, but you're not looking at the point that once you get out, there are not a lot of programs out here that are that will help them succeed, or a lot of jobs that are willing to give them a chance, because a lot of them come out here and they really do want to come out and make a difference, want to do better, but they're not given that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my take on it.
The and people need to understand that feeling of not worrying where your next meal is coming from.
That part.
Like that alone causes you to commit a crime, just not knowing when next
Absolutely.
time I'm going to eat.
Right.
So yeah, like I get it. Like when I went, on my trip, that was the best part for me. That I knew I can wake up and not worry about I gotta pay for food. Do I have enough to do make this, that, and the third? So for I get it, man. Sometimes I be like, hey, lock me up.
Listen, some people do feel that way
You
though
know what I mean?
because it's more of a I don't have to worry about that kind of
Yeah.
thing, but also their worries are slightly, I mean, are vastly different. They don't have to worry about where it's gonna come from, but also it may not be something that you want to eat, that you get to enjoy eating, or it may also not be something that fits your dietary needs.
That
That's
part.
true.
Because they not about to sit up here and try to make sure if you're a vegan, they not gonna make sure that you get plant-based foods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, or if you don't eat pork, they're not gonna go above and beyond to make sure that that's not what.
Yeah.
So you do have to adjust, and even some of those kind of simplistic things, like we said, some of the families aren't able to send money. Some of the families don't get to put money on their books, so they resort to other options or other ways of being able to financially support what they're doing, financially support um even just something as simple as getting a book.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The simple things, ink pen, paper, to be able to write their family members and things like that is something totally different too. So we I do get it that we take some things for granted on the outside. But I also think the flip side of that is that um a lot of people on the inside fully don't understand the struggle that's taking place on the outside
Right.
for us. They don't understand how hard it is for us to be able to actually find jobs, keep jobs, how costly everything is.
Mm-hmm.
And so their thought may be like, I just need $30.
Yep. And that $30 may be the difference between me sending you that $30 and me providing food for my family.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't see that. They don't get it. And they don't understand a phone call
Yep.
is
Yeah.
very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's very expensive. Or, and then they have those video calls.
Mm-hmm.
And those video calls, just for a couple of minutes, you just spend about $10 or $15, and you're just
Yep.
like, Lord, okay, so I don't have money to just like keep putting on the phone.
Yep.
And the calls are probably about 30 minutes most of the time. They're about 30
Yeah.
minutes.
Yes.
A phone call is about 30 minutes, and I think it's usually about almost $7 for one phone call for 30.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to budget for those kind of things, or you have to literally try to figure out where you're going to pull, even if they really have something to talk about or really something that they're trying to get across to you. You talking to them for an hour and a half, that's $25.
Mm-hmm.
And
Damn.
if you don't have $25 and then they still want you to put money on their books, you like,
Mm-hmm.
where that's gonna come from?
Right.
Because
Yep.
I don't have it.
Yep. Yep.
And a lot of the thought processes and things like that, when it comes down to the the disconnect
Mm-hmm.
between what's financially happening on the outside and what's happening on the inside. And so we are trying to still love them, still care for them, still nurture them, but also it's like, what do you do? Because you don't want to just leave them hanging, but also you don't want to overexert yourself or overextend yourself when your household is already fighting to survive or at the bare minimum. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just become something that we don't really have those conversations about. And I know some people might be like, well, that's not my family and that's not my business. But you know somebody who you I'm pretty sure you may know somebody who's locked up. You know somebody who has family that's locked up. You know somebody who is possibly in the process of being locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The there's so much happening in between um with people being locked up, people going to prison and all of those kind of things. It's a big thing. It's a big deal. And the incarceration rates in America is just I don't even think no. I know that when they lock up these people, it's not about rehabilitation. It's not about becoming better. It's not about um being or teaching them how to become better people. Because if that was the case, why don't they get the health care that they need while they're in there?
Mm-hmm.
Because some of them have severe, health issues and they may not get the best health care, but they're not getting proper health care in a lot of instances. And if that's the case, where it's supposed to be about rehabilitation, then where is their humanity in the midst of all of that? What
There's
happened to them being treated as such?
there's none. It's money to be made from them going to prison. It's a multi-million dollar industry, and people don't
Hmm.
realize that because they are making money off of these prisoners back, and
Mm-hmm.
people don't
Yep.
realize that
Yep.
it's money to be made.
Yeah. What I saw the reason why they put the prisons in the small towns is because of the census. The
Yes,
census counts the prisoners as the citizens
Part
of
of
the
the
town.
population.
I
it's
mean,
part
and
of
so
the
that's why they get the better roads and all that other stuff. So I'm like,
yes, yes.
sheesh.
And
Part
then when they're making the license plates and they're making different things, that's money. That
Mm-hmm.
is money, especially when they privatize the prisons. That's where the money comes in, and
Mm-hmm.
people don't realize that. So when you see when there a lot of the prisons are becoming private, that's where the big money comes into play.
Yep.
People
Mhm.
don't understand that. So it's money to be made. And when you realize when it's the prisons are privatized, that's where a lot of the prisoners are being mistreated the most.
Mm-hmm.
And you have prisoners who are not getting the best health care. You have prisoners who are being, oh my God, just terribly treated. Just all I can say, they're being treated terribly.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the COs who are in there just doing the worst. And I don't understand. You are there to do a job, but yet you are in there ganging up. It's like you are a gang instead of a officer. You're supposed to be
Yep.
there to protect and to serve, but you're in there terrorizing, and that's what they do. They're in there terrorizing prisoners, and you have wardens that allow this. And what people don't understand, you know how you watch movies and you see where they have the fight clubs and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
That stuff is truly happening in prisons. And people don't,
Mm-hmm.
it's truly happening in prison. It's a lot of stuff that goes on where they bring the females in and they pimp them out. All of this stuff is happening. And people, when they say movies are real life, it's true to life.
Mm-hmm.
Believe what you see. They're putting it in your face. Believe what you see. But I don't know. I me, I can go on and on about certain things, and when it comes to prison systems, because I, like I said, my father's been in there since I've been a kid, and he's told me just multiple stories of travesties and the things he had to go through. He was in there since I was a baby, so he went
Mm.
in as a teenager,
Mm.
and he was accused of raping somebody he never raped.
Mm.
So because he was a black man and she was a Caucasian woman, he went
Yep.
to prison. So, um, and back then in the 70s, you know how that went.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
and my dad got, when I say he came out when I was in my 30s. So that's,
Oh wow.
yes. Yep.
That's
So
crazy.
that's crazy. But that's what they say. The system was not built for us.
Not at all.
It was not built for us. It was built against us. So no matter what you do, every now and then we'll get a break. But it's like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you're fighting against the system.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So one of the things, hold on, I had some statistics. Okay. So the incarceration in America, the US has about 5% of the world's population, but nearly 20% of the world's incarcerated people. Um, America incarcerates more people than almost any country on earth.
Hmm.
On earth.
That sound about right.
Yep.
Nearly 2 million people are incarcerated in the United States right now. That includes prisons, jails, detention centers, and juvenile centers. And over 7.6 million jail admissions happen every single year. Many people are jailed repeatedly for short stays, probation violations, inability to pay fines, or poverty related offenses.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest things that I've noticed that it was a law recently passed is that they are starting to incarcerate people for being homeless,
Yep.
Yep.
sleeping on the street, being homeless, but yet they aren't creating jobs or spaces for people that they can actively go to. Shelters are over filled. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of the places that are happening, those kind of things are happening, is because people choose to vote for these people who want to continue to line their pockets. They don't
Yep.
give a damn about they don't give a damn about people. They don't give a damn about justice. They don't give a damn about any of that. Why in the fuck would you put people who are down on their luck, they're homeless, in jail?
Loitering. They're loitering. That's what they're doing. And trespassing.
Man, fuck all of that. If they not tearing no shit up, and I don't care if you living in the woods, you not bothering me. You ain't tearing my shit up. You not
Right.
throwing off the ecosystem. You not out here fucking nothing up.
Yeah. But
Hey, I could care less if you decided to live up under the highway. Now, granted, it might be about safety, but overall, wherever you choose to lay your head, and if you're not bothering anybody and you're not actively doing anything to put someone else in danger, then why are we locking people up for that?
Yeah.
because you're not even giving them a safe place to go. And a lot of people
Not at
go,
all.
they go in the woods to get away from, because like when they go to these camps where a lot of people are going, it's not safe.
Yeah.
It's not safe because a lot of people are there. A lot of people who go to these camps are up to no good. And a lot of families like to go in the woods away
Mm-hmm.
from people so they can feel safe. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel
Yep.
like if you go into the woods and you have your own little tent and you have your own, you're not bothering anybody, leave them alone. Let them, because you're not giving them anywhere to stay. You're
Right.
not giving them. My thing is like this: we have so many abandoned homes. You're not doing anything with that.
Yep.
Nope.
Why not take these abandoned homes, make them safe enough where they can be inhabited, and then start letting these people come in?
Mm-hmm.
Charge them maybe what, $10 a week,
Something.
something to help keep up the property, and then make them feel like they're contributing,
Yeah.
you know, toward their own living. You know what I'm saying? And then have classes to help them find jobs,
Mm-hmm.
work search, give them a reason to even want to do better. But no, you rather just have them, let's lock them up. You're not
Mm-hmm.
even giving them any kind of way of trying to do better. Well, we're just going to lock you up because you're sleeping out here. They
Right.
don't have anywhere, they don't have anybody. And a lot of people that are they're locking up, a lot of them are have mental issues. And
That.
instead of trying to get them help, we're going to lock you up. That doesn't help them.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't help them at all. You're locking them up. And then when they refuse to go with you, that's another extra charge because you're resisting arrest.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't understand because they're having mental issues, but you're not looking at it like that. You're resisting arrest. A lot of these cops don't understand because they're not even taking the
Train.
time to say that. They're not trained in even mental awareness or don't even care to even have that compassion. We're just going to lock you up.
Right.
And so it's just like, where's the humanity? We're losing humanity when it comes to dealing with each other and dealing with situations like this. And it's just like, come on, man. Where did we go wrong? Where did we stop caring? Where did we just like don't give a fuck no more? And that's just how it is. We just don't give a fuck about nothing. If it doesn't concern me
Yep.
or if it doesn't concern them,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I don't care.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's a family member that they see homeless, then it's a whole different sympathy for somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but if you see somebody you don't know or doesn't look like somebody you know, then it's like, I don't care about them. I got my own problems.
Right.
Right.
I got my own bills to worry about. Why I gotta worry about them? So,
Right. But all it takes is a little bit of passion.
yeah.
Compassion. I'm sorry, compassion, not passion, but a little bit a little bit of
That's a whole different
compassion.
conversation.
I was about to say that's a whole different kind of situation now.
Just a little bit of compassion for another person. And it just, it's getting to the point, it's starting to break my heart, because even with these people who are being locked away, they're just, you're locking people up for just sleeping on the street. And sometimes because they don't have lawyers, they're being locked up. And then a judge, if you get the wrong judge, they'll be like, okay, I'm going to lock you up. And then you get locked up and they see you too many times. Well, I'm going to give you a year in prison
Mm-hmm.
for sleeping on the street.
Yep.
You don't have a place. You can't find a job. And a lot of times they can't find a job because they're sleeping on the street. They don't have anywhere to take a bath. So they don't have clean clothes. So you lock them away for a whole year, all because the first instant they did not have a place to stay. That all snowballed into 1 year in prison. Make sense of that. Where's the compassion?
Right.
That don't make sense to me. It has this, it has somewhere, things have to change somewhere. Somebody have to do something about it. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous.
And it has become even more of a thing where we're seeing people who go to jail for some of the most, it's like asinine to see some people go to prison or go to jail for like the woman who got jail time for uh lying about the area her children were living in. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? For trying to get them into a better school. She
Yep.
served actual time for that.
Yep.
Yeah. They serious about
Meanwhile,
that here too.
huh?
They serious about that here too.
Yeah.
And that's
Meanwhile,
crazy.
the celebrities who were using scholarships and stealing money from those things didn't serve a fucking day.
Nope.
Right. But it's all about money. If you got money and who pockets you can grease,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to worry about it.
Leave Aunt Becky alone. Aunt Becky wasn't going to jail for nobody.
Then that's sad, because that's money plays a big part. It just plays a big part. And
And
when
so
we're trying to level the playing field so our children can have better. And that's all she was trying to do, was level the playing field so her children can have a better education.
uh-huh.
And
And
Aunt
they
Becky's daughter didn't even want to go to college. She did
mm,
all that to get her kids to
And,
college. She didn't want
and
to
she
go.
didn't even want to go. But since we're talking about funds and finances and things like that, we do have to talk about, like you said, the underfunded schools in Black neighborhoods, school suspensions versus the emotional support that our children don't have in some of the schools because they can't afford for our children to, um, they can't afford to give certain schools those things that are necessary.
mhm,
Um, Criminalizing children early,
that
because even we do it to ourselves. Instead of calling these young men, we calling them YNs.
Mm-hmm.
right.
What do you mean? That's a young man. Stop labeling these children those kind of things, because then when they aspire to be exactly that, now you're mad, now you're upset, now it's their parents' fault and all of these kind of things. Where was your parents? Well, where was the community?
Right.
And like that one video, it's not funny, but it's true, which makes it funny. Is the man said, we always talking about the village, but what if the village is the R word? I try not to say that word. But what if the village is the R word?
Shout out to Baltimore.
Right. Okay. I thought it was from Baltimore.
Yeah.
And, and,
Shout out to
and that's
Baltimore.
the truth.
Yeah.
What if the village around that child is doing everything to make that child be something that they shouldn't be?
Mm-hmm.
They are setting that child up for destruction. And that's the real truth. The village is the one that's setting that child up for the destruction. And so, um Then we have the over policing in schools, but now in this society, we need it because people are pulling up, mass school shootings and all of those kind of things are happening on a regular basis.
Not our schools. Their schools.
Their schools, right? Right. But we also not those might not be happening in our schools, but they always have the over police at
Yeah.
our schools. You know, our
Yeah.
schools are over policed like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Um,
Because we come that generation that passed. They're the don't touch my kid generation.
mm-hmm.
You just
Yeah.
call me, I'll take care of it. So by the time the parent gets to the school, the kid done tow up some whole bunch of shit.
Listen.
You know, so they got to call the police on them because you just said we can't touch them, so we gonna get somebody that can touch them.
And that's insane. And then the other part of it is how the behavior issues are often untreated trauma. The behavior issues that we see with a lot of our children and teenagers is untreated trauma. A lot of our children have suffered sexual abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, all of those kind of things within their home before they even make it to school.
Yeah.
And then once they get to school, they deal with the bullying. They deal with people talking about their body odors, their clothing, and all of those kind of things. Then we have the children who may not be dealing with any of those things, but their life is unstable because they live between their mama's house, their daddy house, their grandparents' house, because the mama is in school and doing all of this. So sometimes the baby stay over here and sometimes the baby stay over there because the daddy at work. And I've seen that firsthand when I was a preschool teacher. We had a kid that would wild out so motherfucking hard. And when I say tearing up, I mean tearing it up, tearing posters off the wall. And at that point, that was when I was like, you're not finna tear up this motherfucking school. And that's when we had back then, and that was in the early 2000s when we had the option to be able to do, I forgot what it's called, but the hold. We could do a hold on a smaller child in order to contain them, allow them to get their cells together and all of that kind of stuff. You can't even do that no more to children.
Nope.
I was going to say the sleeper hold, and I know good and damn well that's not what it's called.
You go ahead and put them in sleep if you want to.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Yeah, that happened like today.
But I know that's not what it's called. But the little hole so that they could. Damn, I can't think of it.
Yeah.
But it was really just to help them to calm down, to know that they were loved, to know that they were cared for, to know that they could, once they calmed down, that we could sit and have a conversation and talk about whatever it is that was going on. And most of the time, some of them babies was just tired.
Yeah.
They was up all night. Some was gnawing on their little bodies. Because some people got bugs and mice and all of those other kind of things too. And so we don't recognize what really happens inside of some of these children's homes. And when we do start to recognize what's happening and when we do start to pay attention to what's going on, 9 times out of 10, it's too late. And we're trying to do everything to combat 7, 8 years of trauma. And now you're their teacher and you recognize what's going on. They're 9 years old. Now you got to fight 9 years of trauma, 9 years of whatever they've been dealing with. And that's why I say even now when it comes down to adults, when it comes down to adults and when it comes down to the dating scene, we got to realize that some of these people have been dealing with trauma since they were children too.
Yeah.
Not just the trauma, but some of them had one teacher with 4 other students in the room. We do have to remember that as well when we're out here dating. And I'm being for real. We have to remember that too. So some of them being traumatized on top of the fact that they had one teacher all day with four other students in the room. We really got to think about who we're out here dating and who we're interacting with. And if we're going to be honest, the shit that happens in your life through over time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because let me look it up to make sure I give it make sure I say it right. Cause your first experience with trauma, hold on, because I don't want to say that incorrectly.
Yeah, this little kid today, little black kid, he was in like pre-K. Never, so this is his first year in school. He's in the hallway. He's literally like banging his like book bag against the lockers, and the teachers don't do anything to him because they can't. They just let them banging in the locker. I walked past him. I said, "Stop!" He froze and then walked in the classroom. Like, okay, he told me to stop. Teacher said, "How did you do that?" I said, "What you mean? I just told him to stop." Like,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Because
I'm
some
not
of them respond to men better than they respond to
Women. Yep.
um more than
yeah,
they respond to women. Because most of them don't even know what it's like to have a man in the house. Not, and
yeah,
that's not being harsh. That's being honest about where
yeah,
we are
Yep.
statistically in our community. Some of them don't have men in the home, and some of them do, but also some of those men aren't very present, even though they are in the home.
yeah,
So a child will respond to a man's tonage, the depth, because some women don't know how to get that deep in their voice.
nah,
I said stop. You know what I'm saying? That's a
yeah,
whole from a man.
yeah.
Even women, even grown women freeze when that kind of stuff is said. So hey y'all, hey Kimmy, hey Kimmy. We got some comments over here. I don't want to look over them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, some of the ladies
mm-mm.
they talk like like kindergarten teachers. They don't care how old the kids are. Like say, "Hey, stop it. That's
Hey,
not what we're
Mr.
doing.
Daryl.
Like, that's not going to work." Sometimes you just got stop, and they be like, "Okay, cool. Like you got it, Mr. Simpson. Hey, you know what I mean?"
And that's the reality of it. Is like that's why we talk about how much fathers matter, how much those kind of things actually matter. And I did find the psychological thing that I was talking about. It's referred to as a psychological phenomenon known as age regression or arrested emotional development. So it means where unhealed trauma causes an individual to emotionally freeze or revert to the age they were when the trauma first occurred.
Mm,
So you're pretty much, if your trauma happened at 6 years old, that's how you respond to everything in your life, like a 6 year old.
Mm.
Maybe that's why that one man wanted to be a 6 year old little girl. I don't know.
maybe.
But arrested emotional development. So when triggered in adulthood, the mind can bypass its logical mature self and react with coping mechanisms of that younger self.
Huh.
And so the aspects of this trauma response: the age of the wound. When the trauma is triggered, an adult may not respond with their current maturity level, but rather act the age the wound was created. Survival mechanisms. This is a defense mechanism. The brain, overwhelmed by stress, reverts to earlier familiar survival patterns rather than engaging adult reasoning. And then emotional
I know somebody
stuckness.
like that.
Huh?
I know somebody like that.
I'm pretty sure we all do. I'm pretty sure we all do. And so the emotional stuckness is the trauma can cause a person to feel emotionally younger than their actual age, which sometimes called arrested psychological development.
Mm,
And then the unconscious reactivity, these reactions are often involuntary and can be triggered by sensory input, sounds, smells, feelings associated with the original trauma. So when something happened to you, you can respond in a way that you may not even recognize as how you're responding. So the brain is a very powerful thing, and we forget that a lot of times. We forget how powerful our minds are, and um how trauma can truly put you in a box to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
Our traumas are controlling us in ways that we may not know, which is why we talk about mental health awareness, which is why we talk about um, the care and therapy that we may need in order to navigate some of those things. Because some of us have been dealing with trauma since we were first out of the womb, and some of us dealt with it in the womb because
Yes.
some people's mothers were uh, abused physically, mentally, emotionally, and all of that while pregnant. And so we do have to consider the source, even when we think about or when we talk about um, trauma and we laugh. We always say Black people, turn our trauma into laughter. That's a defense mechanism. And I'm guilty of it because I'm a laugh all the time.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a laugh all the time, even when I shouldn't be laughing. But laughter is gonna make that uncomfortable whatever situation so much better. Even like, and the one time I can truly remember is even my mama did it, and we all was like, "Girl, is you okay?" Because
Wrong time to be laughing.
listen, because I had never experienced my mama act like that, and so I was like, "Girl, is you okay?" We was at a funeral, and she up there quoting Martin.
It be like that.
And I was like, girl. But the traumas, the all of the things that we navigate on a regular basis where we are trying to figure out who we are, where we are, and how we're going to navigate life, we have to remember that that starts when we're younger.
That's like how Black people, when we talk about us getting whoopings when we are younger, like we'll laugh at that. We survived. We here. You know what I mean? Like that's trauma. Like
Yeah.
some people got whooped, and they still like yeah. I remember when they got the extension cord, like
Woo, baby.
you know what I'm saying,
Baby.
like an extension cord. That's not, you're not supposed to hit nobody with that. You know what I'm saying?
Baby.
But we got through it.
We
Race
lived through
contracts
it.
and all that. So
We lived through it.
I remember my mama beat me when I was in the tub. Like I'm wet in the tub. She can't see. Like survived. Like I'm here.
And it's crazy because when we laugh about those things, we don't even be thinking about it. But I remember the switches and all
Uh-huh.
of that kind of stuff. Going out there to get your switch. Do you
Get your
know
own
how
switch.
fucking the whole way to go get your switch?
Not the holiday
You is
hardship.
farting and shaking all the way to go get that switch off that tree.
And you
Yeah.
But
better
then one of the things,
you go get
yeah,
you make you go
you
get a
bet
bigger
not get the
one.
little thin one.
Right.
You better go get a nice thick juicy one, cause
Get it over with.
otherwise
Yeah.
you gonna come back up and it's gonna be some stuff missing. But even one of the things that I learned was that is how some people's kinks are formed
Yeah.
Yeah.
because of their trauma, because of the things that they dealt with when they were younger, that over time it became something that they adjusted their
Yeah.
brain to, and it became something that they enjoyed. We'll talk about that at another time. But even just talking about the whoopings and all of that kind of stuff, we do not recognize how that trauma translates throughout our lives. We either
Yeah.
gonna laugh about it, we gonna transform it into something that we like our
Mhm.
whoopings and all of those kind of things. And um because one of the events that we did together, Regina, remember that one of the young ladies was saying that that's how that's how her kink came to life,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
she was whooped very brutally as a child.
Yep.
Hmm.
Very brutally as a child, to the point she couldn't sit down for days. And it became, over time, it became her kink.
Yep.
Hmm.
And I was like, wait.
Yep.
And so you never know what those kind of things translate to, or how they turn into something. I mean, some people would say that's powerful that you turn that into that. But also, I probably would flash out on a motherfucker if that was something that happened to me. And then you trying to do that to me as an adult, I would probably black out.
But it's psychological because it's a way of the brain protecting itself
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
from the trauma that they went through. And I mean, for I can understand, because as a person who likes pain and some of the traumas I went through as a child, I can understand where she's coming from,
Hmm.
because oh hell, growing up, I went through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can understand. And maybe that's why I have a pain kink. I never thought of it like that until you said it, but maybe that is something that could explain why I like.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like your brain kind of kicks in. It's like a protection.
To
Yeah.
It
protect yourself. Yep.
protects yourself. It's like you know how some people they go and they end up with a different personality, but
Hmm.
instead your brain is like, well, this is what we're gonna do. We're not gonna have a different personality. We're gonna just build a protection layer around
Yeah.
this, and
And
so
then it
instead
becomes something that you
it
enjoy.
becomes something you
Mm-hmm.
enjoy. So instead of they took the pain and turned it into enjoyment. So I get that. I
Yep.
can
Yeah.
understand that. I can understand that a
So
lot.
yeah, so that's like, because my mom used to yell at me a lot, like
Mm,
all the time. So now when people yell at me, I get a nervous reaction. I start smiling, I start laughing. So I don't think about my mom yelling at, because she used to tell me that all the time too. Like, why are you fucking yelling, smiling? Like, why are you smiling? I'm yelling at you. Like, my brain kicks in to protect myself from the yelling.
yep.
Sheesh. And that's probably why I don't argue as much, because I don't like nobody yelling
Listen,
at me.
I don't know why I don't like to argue, but don't come over here with that shit. Don't come over here with that arguing. Because we're not going to argue. You're going to get the
You
fuck
know
out and
how
go
I
on about your
feel.
Oh,
business.
you want
I can't
argue?
stand arguing, and I
You
don't know
want
what it
argue?
is. Just like I was never like, we got whoopings, but I wasn't a person that got beat or nothing like that. We got whoopings, but I do not like people putting their hands on me. Do not put your hands on me. Even when I was a
Me?
preschool teacher, I used to tell them kids, don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me. Don't hit me. Don't kick me. Don't pinch me. None of that.
Oh,
Cause I'm gonna have it. We
don't go
gonna
to
have an
school
issue.
now.
Oh no.
Don't
We
come
gonna
back to
have an
school
issue.
now.
Don't put your hands on me. And then the older I've gotten, I don't put my hands on nobody. So don't put your hands on me as an adult. Don't put your hands on me. I'm not gonna put my hands on you. Cause one, I don't want to go to jail. Because I feel like all of that arguing gonna lead to something else. And even recently, as I've dated and stuff like that, I tell people all the time, I don't like to argue. I don't like to argue. That's one thing I'm not gonna do. We're not gonna argue. I don't even like how my body feels when I have to argue, or when I do end up arguing with people. So we're not gonna do that over here. If that's what you want to do, hit the road, Jack. But no. And then I think that's part of, I think all of those things we're talking about is part of how we survive, how
Mm-hmm.
our brain makes sure that we can make it out alive. You
Mhm.
don't like being yelled at, or when you are yelled at, you just kind of your brain triggers you to respond in a certain way. Those are survival instincts. We have to talk about that too. How some of the survival instincts that some of these children have in order for them to make sure that they take care of themselves often gets mislabeled as them being a problem child. And they're not a problem child. Some of these children just have learned differently in how they have to navigate life because nobody is caring for them. Nobody is tending to them. Nobody is watching them. None of that. None of that is happening. And so they learn different. They grow up different. They navigate how to make sure that they are fed, clothed, clean. The way they navigate those things is a lot different than how a lot of us would navigate those things. So we have to be careful when it comes down to labeling. The labeling of Black children is man, it's disheartening because when we look at it, we look at problem children, or even back in the day when a girl was simply just being a girl. Come over there, come from over there with all of them men over there being fast.
Oh, yes, yes,
I
yes.
I just walked over here. How am I being fast? Like, or just even how we respond or how things have happened in life. We are labeled. We are a labeling as society all the way across the board. Whether it's good or bad, which is why I think some people are labeled whores because they think that those labels make them feel some type of way.
Not the
Yep,
horse.
we talked about that too. We talked about pre-birth trauma. We talked about the trauma that happens in the womb prior to prior to being born and all of those kind of things, or even the parents' trauma prior to or in the midst of
You want
creating
to
the
say
child.
like it's some is hereditary. Like
Yep.
Yep.
that it just gets passed down.
Oh, so that's a whole different thing. That's that's DNA coding.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We'll talk
That's,
about that. So y'all
that's
gonna take me down my science bag, and that's a whole nother thing. That's why when people be talking about generational curses and all of that kind of stuff, we even got to be mindful of what we saying as a generational curse because it might not actually even be a curse. It may
Right.
just be a learned behavior.
Yep.
yep.
And we have to be mindful of that too. Which is why labels are important, but correct labeling is even more important than just labeling something.
Yep. And then you got to
So,
watch what you say because your tongue brings forth
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things.
yeah.
It's very powerful.
And so we have to, especially us as Black people, have to learn to watch what we say because our tongue is so powerful. And if we tell these babies, just like when Leo was saying that we keep calling these babies these YNs, if we keep saying this is what they're learning to become.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we start speaking life into them and start calling these babies young men like they are, they're becoming young men. This is
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing. We're speaking life into them. But if we keep calling them young YNs, this is what they're learning. We are the older generation. We are the ones that should be teaching them there is more to life than being a YN.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
back in my day, because I'm older than all of y'all, and back in my day, my grandparents would always, my great grandparents would sit down and always speak positivity to us. And I think we need to start speaking positivity into our younger generation. Even
Mm-hmm.
I used to catch my great grandmother on her knees, just praying over us as we slept. And this we have gotten away from doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even as we were walking out the door, she was speaking positivity over us. And so these are things that we need to start doing. It's like we need to start grabbing this power that the world thought they could pull away from us and bringing it back, taking it
Yep.
back and putting it into our babies. You know what I'm saying? You are not a YN. You are a young man. I refuse to let this world, they already say that you're black and you're nothing. Well, baby, you're mine. And I believe that you are something. I believe that you were created to be better than. My generation is here, but I believe my next generation, which is you, are going to be better than me.
That's right.
The generation after you should be greater than you.
Mm-hmm.
So each generation should be better than the next generation. So if you plant the seed and each generation is telling the next generation, you're going to be better than me, baby, what? Of course, there's always going to be somebody who's going to doubt, but there's always going to be somebody who gets it,
Mm-hmm.
who hears it, who
Yep.
continues on passing that seed, that legacy, that belief. So I don't know. That's just how I feel. That's how I believe. I just believe if we let our babies know there's always, just because one say one thing doesn't mean anything. You are
Yep.
capable of being anything you want to be. I believe my grandson, he loves sports. Even though he works my nerves, whenever it comes to sports, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make sure he gets to his games. I'm going to make sure if he says, Granny, I need a pair of cleats, I'm going to make sure I get that money to get some shoes, basketball shoes, whatever. Granny, I'm staying after school to play basketball because as long as I know he's doing something that's not on the street,
Mm-hmm.
that's keeping him positive, moving toward a positive goal, I got his back.
I'm
I
trying to
got his
tell you because the worst thing in the world is an athletic criminal. Okay, you don't
say,
need that. You need athlete. You don't need an athletic criminal. Okay,
Not an
say that,
athletic
say that.
criminal. That's
because
crazy.
they take something from you, you ain't catching them. You know what I mean? That's what it's those type of people. Like so,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
That's crazy. But when you all were in school, one of the things that I came across was, did your school feel more like a place of growth or punishment?
I felt like growth. I had teachers who always pushed you to do more. They seen potential in you. If they seen potential in you, they were like, hey, I seen this, or I feel like you should be doing this. Come on, let's do this. Or they'll call and be
Mhm.
like, hey, I had a teacher, Mr. Pendergrass. He used to always call my mom, hey, Regina, Regina's doing this, and we have a debate class. I think she'll be very, very good in this debate class. I used to always say, I don't want to do it because I was real shy. But I would always, if I felt a certain way, I'll be outspoken. And he used to catch it. He'd be like, I feel like she'll be really good in this debate class.
Girl, get your ass up here and get to talking. I heard you.
Yeah.
I
And
heard you over there.
I'd be like, I don't want
That's
to.
good.
So he used to push me. And we ended up going and we went and we did the competition and we won. And he was like, I told you. I told you. And so you see, I talk a lot because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't. It was him pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What about you, Pablo? D girl. What about y'all?
Uh, I moved around a lot, so
That
the
makes
white
sense.
schools, um, they ain't push us. They ain't push the black kids anyway. We
Mm.
just went on through. You know, like if you were good at sports, then they rock with you. But if you weren't good at something that they can watch or participate in, they didn't really care about you.
Damn, that's
Yeah,
right.
but the black schools, especially like when I got here to Baltimore, they made an effort. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, we already got to work twice as hard. This, that, and third. We can have the same thing they have. So they put us in programs. Like they put me in an engineering program in ninth grade because it's like,
Mm.
oh, he's good at math. Like walking in the door. Like so. But even at the black schools, it felt more prison life as opposed to the white schools. The white schools were like, so it's almost like going to the difference between going to Home Depot and Lowe's. Like Home Depot is like real dark and it's shady, and Lowe's is super bright. That's how the white schools were. The white schools were always super bright. The hallways were clear. You go to a black school, the bathrooms were painted black on the inside. I'm like what is that? You know what I'm saying? So
That's
and that's
right.
just been my experience. I could be wrong. I never been to anything anywhere else after Baltimore, but Baltimore, their schools are super dark. And when I was in Southern Maryland, it was always bright. Even in Hawaii, we didn't have hallways in Hawaii. When you stepped out the classroom, you was outside. Like, that's how Hawaii schools were. It's almost like California. So
Mm.
yeah,
I can definitely say interesting, Pablo, because it's a similar experience that I actually never really put into perspectively until you just asked the question. But I will say similar. Uh, and when I grew up here in Chicago, um, and I got into high school and I was in honors, we were like the elite. It was one group of us, and we
mm-hmm.
did all the classes together because we were in the
Yep.
honors group. So we were kind of held to a certain standard, and but I left in the same year. I left in ninth grade, and I moved to Memphis. But we did live in a predominantly white area at that time. The area that we lived in was predominantly white. The black kids were getting bused to that particular school.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and unless they lived in the area, which we lived, my mama specifically moved in that area so she didn't have to deal with that. And I wasn't pushed. Now that when Pablo said it, it instantly made me. I wasn't pushed. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't pushed. I don't even think I was as studious as I could have been, even though yes, I was still honors. Yes, my mama did push me in certain spaces, but she had 6 children,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think I was shy and nobody pushed me out of that. No, not one person. I used to sing and everybody say how beautiful you can sing. I wasn't singing though because nobody pushed me out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody pushed me, told me what I could be, told me how great I could be. Nobody told me. And so I don't think maybe we don't invest enough in those spaces. Not enough programs to instill self awareness or even just self confidence and
Mm-hmm.
how to tap into realms of being who we really can be. Because, like Pablo said, if you weren't in sports and I
Yeah.
have a reason to say to you, you need to go to class, you need to do what you're supposed to do. I'm really
They feel
not
like they don't relate
invested.
to us. They
Yeah,
can't
I'm really
relate to
not
us. They don't
invested.
talk to us.
Yeah. For me, it was kind of both. Um, when I was in elementary school and things like that. So all of us are like 3 years apart. So my older sister got more of she got more of that, oh, these are your brothers than I did. My older sister and I got it when we were kind of like elementary school, but then definitely in high school because we didn't go to middle school together. So I got a lot of that. Oh, that's your sister. Oh, that's your sister. When I was in high school, and I'm like, okay, yeah. And then my younger sister got it when she went to high school with me, and it was always funny to me because when they found out who my older sister was, and they was like, oh, okay, because I was in honors classes and stuff, but the way I used to be like, no, I don't like how y'all teaching me, because I'm a hands-on learner, but I'm also like, yeah, I could do the work, but I don't want to. That was how I responded to things. I could do the work. Do I want to? No. That's just like when it comes to a lot of things, like even when I like, as y'all see, I love learning. I love talking about the things that I want to talk about and the things that I fully love to engage in. But could nobody make me learn shit back then?
That
Like,
part.
like I had teachers that tried to get me into track and field because in gym I would be good at throwing. I was good at throwing. I was good at basketball. Just, if we were just standing there shooting, I was good at shooting, but I wasn't finna be running up and down the court. I'm cool on that. So they tried to get me to do volleyball. I didn't want to do that. They tried to get me to do the shot put. And I was like, what is that even? But like they didn't push enough. They were just
Right.
like that. It was a suggestion. My favorite thing that nobody actually pushed me, like D girl said, was that nobody pushed me when it came to choir, when it came to singing, because I've been singing since kindergarten, since before then. That's why I love music so much. Is because that was a thing in our home. Music was a thing for me, and it still is. And so all through school, I did choir every year that I could do choir. Um, but nobody pushed that. Nobody, even when I went to college, I did choir just cause I wanted to, just cause it was a extracurricular activity that I could take, an extra couple of credits that I could have, because I was just playing around in school. When I went back to get my sociology degree, I was just playing around. I was like, I don't know if this is what I want to do, so I'm gonna just take some random classes and learn some stuff. But I think I took beginners choir, and then I took secondary choir. 2 years of choir in college. But nobody pushed, and I'm still shy. I'm still scared to sing in front of people. So I don't know. But the reason for me asking that was just to kind of
Me
gauge.
too, Leo.
Yeah, we talked about that. But the reason that I asked that was to gauge how some of those things kind of help us or hurt us as we navigate through getting older and growing up, because sometimes we are punished for our greatness and we're punished for how we show up, which is why sometimes we end up finding that we have um amazing scholars that get locked up. We
Mm-hmm.
see scholars that get locked up on a regular, and so it's not just the ones that we see that are dealing with the trauma or dealing with all of the trauma based living situations and growing up, but we also have the ones who aren't pushed, who aren't their curiosities aren't piqued enough. We do have the ones that could turn into being leaders of corporate, structures and all of those kind of things, but we don't feed into them enough. So therefore, they end up being the exact opposite of what they could be, because the idle mind is the playground of the devil. If we want to talk about music, do you want to
Get into
do
it,
you want to
indeed.
get funky with me? But the idle mind is the playground of the devil. So if you have a curious child and you have some a child that could tear some shit apart and then put it back together, and it works better than it did before, but you're not nurturing that. You're not nurturing the person that wants to sing and could really truly throw their all into that. We're not nurturing the scientists, the mathematics, the chemists,
Mm-hmm.
because those chemists go out here and find some other things to do. and,
Mm.
and I believe it go baking
I,
soda,
I got
Pyrex.
baking soda. I got baking soda.
Okay, I don't know the full recipe. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know the full recipe. But them chemists get out here and learn stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
then when they out here learning that stuff, they end up doing stuff.
Yeah.
So, hey
But
Judah,
but yeah, I have this kid at one of my schools. He is super smart, and I mean like he don't need to be in elementary school. That's how smart this kid is.
mm,
But the principal, she recognized it, so he has to spend like half a day in the principal's office with a special laptop. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
So
gonna
he
keep
could
that in
do.
mind. Amy. Amy said we should have a PGC showcase talent night.
Hey,
I'm gonna keep
Oh,
that in mind.
don't get me out here, okay?
Listen, I'm gonna keep that in mind. Somebody write that down. Somebody write that down real quick.
Yeah,
Um,
he got his own laptop and he got like special assignments on him he can do. No one else in the school can do them. So like I know if he was in the inner city, they wouldn't do that for him. You know what I'm saying? Like
and see,
yeah,
that's the thing. Our
yeah.
kids be up here having all of these skills and talents. Like I said, what comes to mind for me is Bad Boys. Remember on Bad Boys 2?
Yeah, with John Sally.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Him, but also the dudes that were helping the criminals with cooking the
mhm.
stuff. They
Yeah.
was down there breaking it down like, well, this area you can't do all of this because of the moisture in the area, and it's gonna be terrible, man. I remember that part specifically because I always thought it was hilarious how he was trying to tell him about how the product was gonna turn out, and he was getting pissed off at him talking. Why that sticks in my brain, I don't know, but I remember that. And then we look at how those people turn out. They get curious and they start hacking shit.
Yeah.
Mm,
Why you think hackers really be out here just doing random shit? It's because they don't have a space to actually tap into their greatness. They're
right.
overlooked by jobs, they get overlooked by other people and other industries, and so they go do what feels right even though it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I got a
And
kid
so
like
we
that
do end
too.
up with people that are incarcerated that are absolutely that have brilliant minds. And a
Yep.
lot of our school systems don't do that. They don't nurture them and all of those kind of things. So we end up with people that are actually amazing incarcerated behind bars.
Ours.
That's how some of them turn into lawyers behind bars.
Mm-hmm.
They turn into some of the most amazing people behind bars, and they would rather serve out their time in there doing those things because they still are being helpful to people.
Mm-hmm.
They're still able to do what they love, and they don't really care about going home. I get to do what I love and I'm already in here, so leave me be. But Black Americans are incarcerated at more than 5 times the rate of white Americans,
Yep.
and nearly 2 million people are incarcerated in the United States. We talked about that. 38% of incarcerated people were first arrested before the age of 16.
Yep.
Women are the fastest growing incarcerated population in America. Women
Hmm.
are the
Mm.
fastest growing population of incarcerated people in America, which
I
is
can
crazy.
believe it.
Cause y'all know how to comply.
Is that what it
Pablo,
is?
Pablo.
Is that what it is, Pablo?
Wait,
Oh
let's see.
goodness.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. Right. This was the racial disparities. Black Americans are incarcerated at over 5 times the rate of white Americans. Black incarceration rate is 802 per 10,000 adults, and white incarceration rate is 156 per 100,000 adults. Black people make up around 13% of the U.S. population, but around one third of the prison population in state and federal prisons combined.
That part.
Black Americans account for roughly 33% of incarcerated people all the way around.
Well,
Um, in
One out of
Maryland,
every three people
yep,
are in jail.
yep. In Maryland, black people are 30% of the population, but 71% of the prison population. That is
Facts.
one of the largest racial incarceration gaps in the country. Black people are not just overrepresented in prison, they are overrepresented at every stage: arrest, probation, parole, sentencing, surveillance, and reentry barriers.
That's crazy.
Um,
7 out of 10 black people in Maryland are in jail.
in jail.
That's crazy.
And then many women in prison are incarcerated for survival based crimes, failure to
Mhm.
appear, low level offensive, drug dependency, financial desperation, abuse related situation. And Black women often carry the financial burden of incarceration: phone calls, commissary, legal fees, bail, medical charges, pay to stay debt. The system often financially punishes the family too. So when we were talking about it earlier, this is the list of the things that ends up being what the family has to incur and deal with because of uh the high number of incarcerations. I found so many statistics. I tried to keep the ones that were the most important. Let's see, women and incarceration. The United States holds nearly a quarter of the world's incarcerated women.
Jeez.
Even though the US only represents around 4% of the global female population, women are the fastest growing incarcerated population in America. Since the 1980s, women's incarceration has increased by over 585%.
That's that baking soda.
Listen, many incarcerated women were survivors before they were inmates. The large percentages of incarcerated women report histories of sexual abuse, domestic violence, addiction, poverty, and untreated mental illness.
Hmm.
So all of the things that we previously listed, this is why most women end up in prison,
Yep.
which is crazy.
That's crazy.
Because
We are the least protected.
Yep.
the men be on drugs and acting up, and then they defend themselves.
And there
And
we
then
go.
it's them.
Yeah. And then kind of doubling back to what we were just talking about when it comes down to our youth. 38% of people in state prisons were first arrested before age 16. That means the pipeline often starts in childhood. Black youth are over 5 times more likely to be incarcerated than white youth. We've seen that on a regular basis.
Hmm.
Um, Even though studies repeatedly show similar rates of adolescent behavior across races, nearly 70% of incarcerated youth are children of color. Thousands of children are still held in adult jails and prisons even in 2025.
Yep.
So that was a study from last year.
That's the trick. You get them early. That's the first arrest. Then
Yep,
next time you get them, now they're not a first time offender. So they got to sit in there. That's the whole thing. They've been doing this trick for a long time.
yep. And so, not that one, not that one. This one, recidivism and reentry. Thank you, Pablo, for the Segu.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
67.5% of formerly incarcerated people are rearrested within 3 years. 1 in 3 released prisoners ends up rearrested within 10 years.
Mm-mm-mm.
America claims rehabilitation, but structurally profits from repeat incarceration. People leave prison struggling to access housing, jobs, healthcare, education, voting rights, stability. And then society asks why they return. Less than 35% of employers say they would willingly hire formerly incarcerated people,
Right.
even after sentences are completed. So a lot of them have to come home and fend for themselves, which also then in turns uh, the homeless rate.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Let them niggas
Or
go,
they end
man.
up on the higher end of not just homelessness, then that's when the domestic situations take place and all of those kind of things start to reoccur in certain instances. So many things are part of the pipeline for how people end up back in jail and all of those
Mhm.
kind of things. And then research shows Incarceration itself can deepen mental illness. Isolation, violence, surveillance, lack of autonomy, humiliation, family separation. These conditions often worsen psychological distress, which also plays a part in the mental health and trauma. Jails have become some of the largest mental health institutions in America.
Mm-hmm.
Many incarcerated people suffer from untreated PTSD, depression, bipolar disorder, substance dependency, trauma related disorders. Prison often punishes systems instead of treating causes. Homelessness, addiction, mental illness, trauma, poverty, and neglect. Instead of treating those things, they continue to punish you for how you ended up dealing with those instances. And so, again, we end up back in the cycle of things. So,
Mm.
it's a lot. It's a lot to navigate when it comes down to um the system, how people end up incarcerated, what happens when they're there, how they end up mentally being behind, and even, a lot of them don't even get to go to school anymore, because you used to be able to get a degree when you were incarcerated and stuff like that. Some of those prisons don't even have those opportunities anymore. They're on
Right.
lockdown more often than not. They are um and recently, um the young man that I'm helping with his advocacy case said that prison is literally filled with boys in men bodies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They react like little boys. They respond to everything like violent little boys.
Yep.
And instead of treating them, helping them, curing them, and all of those kind of things, they are actively in there hurting, killing, doing all of the things to one another. And we end up, the families on the outside end up losing loved ones because of them being incarcerated, or those that are doing the violent crimes on the inside or end up being in there much longer than they could have been or should have been because of the circumstances at hand. So um it's been an eye-opening experience. The only time in my life that I've dealt with, as far as like family members, I've had a cousin that was locked up and my uncle that was locked up for a good portion of my life, and then he came home um, right around my senior year of high school. So those kind of things, we would go see him, we would write and do all of those kind of things and stuff too. And I think I still have one of the pictures he drew me, because he was amazing at drawing. My uncle was so bomb at drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know why that becomes a thing, but a lot of them are really good drawers. Maybe because they got time to sit in there and doodle or whatever. I don't know, but they end up being able to draw amazing cards, all of those kind of things. I have some beautiful cards, um, whether it's from my uncle or the young man that I'm doing the advocacy work for, and even some of the other people that I've befriended, or that ended up sending me cards and things like that. And some of the work that I've done previously, like when I first put out my book, the Phat Girl Commandments. When I put my book out, I sent one of the books, and they read my book and wrote letters about what they felt about my book. The book was being passed around, and that was crazy. It was being passed around, and they were writing me about my book, and that was like the dopest thing. And they were sending it directly to me because they were talking about how the book made them feel, all of those kind of things. So we do have some of the systems that we are able to kind of tap into, and we can do our part on the outside to help those that are incarcerated, but also, more than anything, we have the power to help those who are innocent. We have the power to help those who are being mistreated. There are a
Mhm.
lot of things that we can do. And so it took me some time to be able to truly tap into the advocacy part of this. And it's a lot of work. I see why people give up. I see why people walk away. I see why people choose not to do it at all in any shape, form, or fashion. But you all will hear me talk more about the advocacy work, what you all could do to help uh, with this work, and how we as a media group, as a unit, but also as a community, can do better about how we show up for our children, our young people, in order to keep them from going down that pipeline, because that is a real thing. They are busing our children to school, and as soon as they get out of school, they busing them to the prisons. As we saw the statistics say that most of our children are convicted before they turn 16. That means we got 14 years to be able to keep them from going down that road. And some of them start early as 8 and 9 years old. That was the statistic that I thought I put up here, that some of them start as early as 8 and 9 years old, depending on their upbringing and their home. And so when we have young women having babies young too, that's part of it, because they growing up with their parents, and so they end up dealing with those kind of statistics and things like that. So it's a lot to be done. So we will talk more about that in the near future. But it's a lot. It's a whole lot. And we got so much more that we could talk about. Like the statistics and everything that we talked about so far was only a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Only a part. Like we didn't even deep dive into black men, the identity and institutionalization.
That part.
It's a lot.
It's a
It's a
lot.
lot. You are telling the truth. That could be a whole month worth of conversation alone.
Listen, if we talk about this subject alone, we could talk about it for a month on end and still not be done with the conversation after that month, because there are so many layers to what happens in our lives that create those kind of circumstances for us to end up imprisoned. So um the one thing I do want people to kind of think about as we get ready to shift into our segments is that we have to be mindful about what happens when survival becomes someone's permanent personality. Survival becomes someone's personality, and then that's how they are actively out here trying to figure out life on a dime. And with that being how a lot of people are navigating currently with the state of the world, how people aren't able to find jobs, aren't able to find homes, rent is out of control,
Bro,
and people aren't able to take care of themselves or their families, we are going to see an influx of, we've already seen so far this year, I think it's what, 7 warehouses being burnt down to the ground. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's 7. I think it's 7 at this point. Um, Let me see. Here we go. Mm, I lied. It's 10. I didn't know we had reached double digits.
Mm-hmm.
10 warehouses or storefront fires within a 3-day span in April. That's crazy.
that is crazy.
California, Ohio, Queens, New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. And I don't mean like smaller scale warehouses. I mean huge warehouses, to the point where they are large enough to fit 4 football fields inside of those stadiums. Those are the kind that I'm talking about.
We
But um we gotta figure it out. We gotta figure this out, because our babies need us. Our men, our women, our children all need us. So We got to figure this thing out. Um, but to pivot and get things a little lighter up in this thing, PGC got some dope shit coming. And our new show, PGC Plugged In, is where culture, business, creativity, and community stay plugged in. This is our new show where we will be interviewing businesses, artists, and all kind of things. Um, we do not have a specific date or time, but it's going to be an amazing show because we do have now the opportunity to interview brands, all kind of things that will help us to bring more information to you so that we will also have more in our PGC plug corner as well. So the PGC plug corner, if you have not checked it out, it is our corner where we have all of the brands and businesses where we are connected to in that area. We currently have Ramita Lynn and Company, Unforgettables, Quiet's Customs, Trey Bell Beauty, Sarkarigan's Media Group, and we are looking to continue to build that. So within this is our official launch of PGC Plugged In. This is the newest show under the PGC Media umbrella, dedicated to spotlighting brands, businesses, creatives, entrepreneurs, artists, authors, wellness advocates, and community voices and impactful work. So when you see this come across your screen, know it's about to be a dope conversation with a creative somewhere in the world. This is more like an interview series where you will also see the things that we are launching within PGC as well. So it will show you where we are staying plugged into the community, where we are, what we're doing, and how we're doing those things. So we want y'all to be aware and stay on task. Make sure when y'all see that pop up, y'all tune in, okay? Um, PGC Plugged In was created to connect culture, creativity, business, and community all in one place while giving people the spotlight they deserve. It was necessary so that we can keep the conversations that we're having over here on PGC, right over here on PGC, without trying to cram everything into one location. And so we're not trying to cram everything on PGC after dark. So it was necessary for our interviews, our brand connections, and our networking spaces and opportunities that we have been afforded to have their own space. So PGC Plugged In was created. Um, but make sure you tap in and get in tune with us. There will be information going out more. I promise y'all. Let me tell y'all how fast I created this. I did all of that this morning. I had been thinking about it, trying to figure
Because
it
when the
out.
vision there, when the vision
Listen,
there.
it was there. It was there. I sat up here and was like, nah. And I had been thinking about it for a while because what I didn't want to do is cram stuff. I wanted to give the Tuesday show its due diligence to be what it is. Friday to be what it is. We have Thursday Night Live with Sarkarians. That's gonna be what it is. Lyrical Lessons is gonna be what it is. And make sure y'all check out the new episode tomorrow at 7 p.m. The new episode of Lyrical Lessons on tomorrow. That is I will be discussing Pillow Talk by Sylvia. So if y'all don't know that song, go listen to it and then tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. But our interview series, PGC Plugs In, starts next week.
I don't think I know that one.
Huh?
I don't think I know that one.
Sylvia,
Yeah.
baby, go listen to it. Go treat yourself.
Okay.
Go treat yourself. It's one of my favorite old school songs. And the third, Lyrical Lessons with Leo is going to talk about everything from old school R&B all the way down to Southern hip hop, neo soul R&B, and more. So make sure y'all tune in. But we ain't stopping. We got so much more in store with PGC and all of what we building over here. And if you are in the area next week, I mean, actually, I was about to say next weekend, this weekend, if you are in the area, yours truly will be a featured artist at Stage Presence brought to you by Butterfly Entertainment.
Yeah.
It's Saturday, May 16th. The doors open at 7 and the vibe starts at 8. It will be located at 4966 Broadway, Gary, Indiana.
Oh Lord, never
So
mind.
if you are in the area, join us. Come on through. And it's not just me, but we got a couple of amazing other women doing their thing as well. We got the songstress Paulette popping through, and then the comedian Yaya the comedian. Also premiering this Saturday. So if you're in the area, come on through. Come see your girl. It's been a while since I've been on stage, so it's gonna be different. It's been a little minute. But make sure you tap in to Sarkarian's Media Group. They do have a live show coming. Make sure you tap into Sarkarians
Yeah.
because they got a live show coming. Go on and tell them about it, Pablo.
Hey man, you know what it is, man. It's your boy Pablo, man. Um, they let me outside. They let me in somebody's building, and we gonna have a fun. We gonna have a fun time. We gonna have all of my network. So the entire 13 shows. We got Leo popping out. That's gonna be dope. We got people from the West Coast coming out. We'll have a 50-50 raffle. You know how y'all folks are. Y'all gonna walk away with some type of money. All right. We're gonna have games. We're gonna see if the women got they get their mac right. You know what I mean? So you can come out there and see who can holler the best at somebody. We got sponsors,
Oh,
we
man,
got
in the best.
vendors, we got alcohol. Come on, man. Like $30, bro. Eventbrite. Go ahead, search Sark Harrogans. It pops up. $30. Meet me there. Or you can beat me there because I'm gonna be late. That's just me. But
Not you gonna be late to your own shit. That's crazy.
hey, it is. It's hosted by Leela Ree from Dirty Roses podcast. She's flying in from Portland to do this. So come on, man. People taking their
What's
time
the
out.
dates, Pablo?
You know what I mean? So
It's July 25th,
yeah,
2026.
there you go. That day. It's a Saturday. You ain't doing nothing. All right. All the festivals are either over or you waiting for the new ones. So the 25th is the perfect date. And if you got a family union, bring your family with you. All right. Everybody get in. If you bring
Definitely.
more than 5 people, I'll let one of them in for free. I don't know which one. Might be the cute one. So come on out. July 25th, 2026. Come holler at your boy.
I'm down.
It's going down. We got
It's
all kind of
going
shit popping
down.
up between PGC Media and Sarkarians Media Group.
We
So make
trying.
sure y'all stick around and stay tuned. It's not finna get lighter around these parts. It's finna get
Mm,
thicker.
mm.
You ain't got to.
Also,
No.
we'll have a few more announcements coming as
Uh-oh.
well.
Uh-oh.
But don't forget, No Sleep Weekend, September 10th through the 13th. Okay. 4 days, 8 parties, one epic weekend brought to you by Bigger and Better Things Entertainment. PGC Media is your media sponsor for this amazing event. And baby, it's gonna be a time, I tell you.
It
I
is going to
mean,
be.
4 days, 8 parties.
Where is that?
It's going to be in Princeton, New Jersey.
Oh Lord. Okay. Y'all just like the
Princeton, New
hood.
Jersey, 4 days, 8 parties, one epic weekend. When I tell you, they got everything from pool parties to pajama parties, all kind of stuff going on this weekend. And
Yes.
PGC is going to do the media. We will
Okay.
be capturing some of the dopest content for this event, as well as participating in the beach parties and the pajama parties. So we're gonna do some
I
live
need the behind the
podcasting.
scene videos for that one.
And we're gonna do some live podcasting while we are there. So make sure y'all tap in with us. Go on over to biggerandbetterthings.com to check out the tickets, the room blocks, and all of that good stuff. And y'all see they staying at a good hotel. They staying at DoubleTree. Go on and get yourself together so you can get them cookies. Okay, them DoubleTree cookies hit every time. I ain't
Every
never had a
time.
bad cookie from DoubleTree.
Every time.
Listen.
So, now Pablo over there rubbing his belly. But we got so much in store, so many things popping off with PGC Media across the board. If you would like to join us and be a part of the team, you can send us an email to Phat Girl Chronicles Podcast at gmail.com, or you can hit us at the Phat Girl Chronicles at gmail.com. You can hit any of these amazing people in the inbox if you're interested, and they will connect you to me, or you can inbox me. We also have our link tree, our email list, and all of that good stuff that you can tap in with us on. You can buy us a coffee in order to support the what we got going on over here. Or if you check out this little scrolling thing right here on the bottom, hold on. There we go. That little scrolling thing right there. It'll help you to contact and connect with us so you can support. You can send via Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We got it all. And if there's any other way you want to try to donate, collaborate, or have your brand featured on the PGC Plugged In show, again, you can hit us at that email or you can reach out to us directly. We appreciate y'all for always tapping in, tuning in, and all of that good stuff. Um, and again, make sure as you are navigating things in this life that you don't forget about the people um, that the world often forgets about. Whatever parts you can play in order to add to someone's life, it is no harm, no foul. You know what I'm saying? You can do amazing things when you step outside of yourself. So tap in. If you are looking to assist with the advocacy work that I'm doing, you are in law school, you know lawyers, or you are a paralegal, or any of those kind of things, feel free to reach out to me as well. The Phat Girl Chronicles, the Phat Girl Chronicles podcast, or you can reach me directly. I am Leo Rochelle at gmail.com. We getting these things cracking because we don't ever want to see somebody's life be taken away from mistakes made along the way. All right. Especially when they're innocent. So we have a vast majority of Black men serving time and Black women serving time for crimes that they did not commit. And we don't want to wait until their lives are gone and their lives are over and for them to get the justice that they deserve. So it's time, y'all. So we finna get out of here a few minutes early. We gonna dismiss class a little early tonight. Make sure y'all go do y'all homework. And make sure you join me tomorrow at 7 p.m. for Lyrical Lessons with Leo. Thursday night at 8:15ish for Thursday Night Live with Sarcarigans and PGC. And then on Friday with PGC After Dark with the Crazy Rich Aunties. All right, y'all.
Oh,
We up out of
Leo
this
take
thing.
MoneyGram too, y'all. So go to
Huh?
CVS. You can go and send the MoneyGram too.
Listen, you know they got them little apps and stuff now, so you ain't got to send MoneyGrams like you used to. They got all kind of stuff now. They got all kind of ways for you to go and send that coin. But y'all know what I say. Whatever you do for the rest of the evening and the rest of the week, y'all, don't do it with your half ass. Do it with your whole ass, y'all. We about to get up out this thing. We love y'all. Love on somebody, care on somebody, and if you don't do nothing else, check in on somebody. We up out this thing, y'all. Peace. We love
Peace.
y'all. You gotta do it with your whole ass.